Yes, people, what's going on, man? What's going on? We're back with another review. I hope you lot are having a nice, blessed Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? I just had myself a nice roast. Did you get it? Just enjoying the weather a little bit. You know, trying to stay off of Twitter because Chelsea Twitter is just unbelievably toxic. You know what I'm saying? Let me never say unbelievably because, like I told you lot before, a lot of the takes that I see on there, they don't surprise me. They don't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? It's full of agendas, full of narratives, you know, full of polarized takes. There's no balance on Chelsea Twitter of a lot of these guys. It's a civil war right now. It's peak. The timeline stinks. It stinks. I'm surprised I didn't see people last week saying we're going to win the league after we won 3-0. Now we lost 4-2 to Man City. It's now the end of the world. Nothing can improve. And I told you lot before, pre-season for me has always been about trial and error, especially for a new coach. This new coach has so many players that is looking at and saying, okay, I'm going to try you there. Let's see if you work there. Okay, I'm going to play you now because you need to get your fitness like Caicedo. I'm going to play Mudryk over this position to see if it works over there before the season starts because the results don't matter. Would you rather your manager try these things in pre-season, right? Or would you rather him try all these experiments in the season where it actually means something? That's what Poch was doing. Poch was doing up experiments, Frankenstein FC, mid-season, right? But in pre-season, it showed us something completely different. And that doesn't mean that you should keep chopping and changing in pre-season. That doesn't mean that. There needs to be a fine balance. And as it is right now, the balance seems like the best, you know, performance that we've had was up against Club America. That was the best balance for me. You know, and we still got the likes of Jackson to come back, Cucurella to come back, Palmer to come back. But you wouldn't think it the way I was seeing people moving crazy after last night. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into it, people. We'll get into it, man. First of all, make sure that you're obviously smashing up the likes. Make sure that you're leaving your comments in there. Any concerns that you've got, any positives that you took out of the game, because there's definitely positives to take out of yesterday. And obviously at the same time, there was negatives to take out of it as well. It's all about analysing the game and having a little bit of critical thinking. But unfortunately, not everyone can think like this. You know what I'm trying to say? But first of all, when I saw the lineup, I didn't know what to make of it. You know, that's not something that I would put out myself. It was unpredictable. And I was trying to work out where each player is going to play. And I kind of said, okay, it must mean Mudryk's going to be on the wing and Dewsbury Hall on the wing as well. I didn't expect Gusto to be the one that was holding all that width. I thought Gusto would be inverting. But at the same time, looking at it, he started Caicedo and Lavia. So where was the space going to be to invert? You know, yesterday we actually didn't have anyone inverting in that first half until Caicedo came off. So I didn't really know what to expect from it, you know, because a lot of the players on that pitch, I like them, I rate them. But if you're playing people in positions where they're not comfortable, if you're tweaking the system a little bit and guys don't feel, you know, as comfortable, especially on that shit pitch, you're not going to look as fluid. And that's exactly what happened in the first half. First 5 minutes, clownery music. Clownery music. It gave me PTSD from last season, where I'm seeing Disasi making constant mistakes at the back. I'm seeing Thiago Silva making constant mistakes at the back. I'm seeing Levi constantly getting skinned. That's what it gave me. You know what I'm saying? Tossing under not that much pressure, just giving the ball away, the dangerous area, you know, and then obviously it meant that Levi had to sort of come in there and he did what he did with Haaland. It wasn't his fault. It was definitely on Tossing, you know, we're 1-0 down. Straight after, another mistake in the midfield with Caicedo. You know, Caicedo, let's be real about it. He just came back yesterday. This guy can probably still taste all the tacos and that he's been eating on holiday, all the plantain and that he's been eating on holiday. For him, it's more about fitness right now. Obviously, you want a performance from him as well, but that didn't surprise me when he did that because he can do that at times, let's be real. But at the same time, it was clearly rust. Clearly rust. And that pitch is just shocking. That's what I'm saying about these American pitches, man. All of our clubs, all the top clubs are going to go to America for these end-of-season trips. Surely with all the money that they've got over there, they can do something about these pitches. Yeah? It's the same for every team, of course. Yes, I'm not saying that's the reason why we lost the game, because Man City were playing on the same pitch. But all I'm saying is these pitches are just not fit for purpose. They're so bad. I honestly hate... when I'm watching these games, yeah, these preseason games in America, I'm just sitting there like, fucking hell, man. We just need to make sure that everyone comes off healthy. Because I still remember what happened to Nkuku last season in America, where he got himself injured and he was out until the new year. So they need to fix it next year, man, because I'm tired. You know, a certain man are trying to punch the ball in. It's not even fizzing into the person because it's just getting caught back by the Astro, whatever it is that they use. You know, I'm seeing us trying to create some triangles in the midfield, but again, it's not as fluid because of how shit the pitch is. It's unacceptable, bruv. It's unacceptable. These are multi-billion companies, and you're telling me you can't fix the pitch. It's a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, back to front at the beginning, the build-up was poor. Sanchez, he looked shaky in build-up. Again, tossing was shocking yesterday. Shocking. That was a bad performance from him. Very, very bad performance from him. And Levi Cole, as always, was struggling in those wide areas. And for me, it's very, very clear that Levi cannot defend his wide areas the way I need him to. Badiashile was better in that area. Yeah, Vega, for me, is better in that area. Cucurella is better in that area. He needs to be more central because his biggest strength is his ball playing ability, the way he just pings it into midfield, the diagonal balls he can be hitting, and he's quite aggressive in 1v1 duels as well. But when it just comes to, these wide areas, his foot is always too heavy in the ground. He plants it too heavy in the ground. That's why it's easy to just skip past him. And I don't know what it is about him. He doesn't like to get stuck in when it comes to the wide areas. Like yesterday, he had Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob just ran past him like he wasn't there, and he's doing all of this. What's all this? Going for the challenge, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Get dirty in there. It doesn't mean clatter the guy, but put your body in the way because end of the day, he's a physical guy. He's over 6 foot. Get your body in the way. Oscar Bob's about 5'8", 5'7", and you're letting him just go past you as if you're not there. He looked a lot better when he got moved into the central positions. We'll talk about that in terms of the second half. But ultimately, I've learned from watching Levi that he can't play at left back. And for me, he's not the strongest in the wider areas. Maybe when the system starts to gel together a little bit more and the machine starts to work a little bit more and they've got more time with Maresca, that will improve. But for me, there's others that I'm playing in wider positions in comparison to him. He's not it in the wider areas. He was poor when it comes to defending that as well. You know what I'm saying? Gusto, I don't know what the hell he was sipping on in America because he was playing like he was drunk yesterday. Oscar Bob as well, he was tricking him up and I'm seeing Gusto just, way. You know what I'm saying? It was laughable. Reece James on the other side looked a bit sluggish. Just looked again like he's trying to get his fitness. And that's what I'm saying. This is what preseason is, people. You're not going to see perfect performances in preseason, in my opinion. You never do. You never do. This was Man City's first win. You know what I'm trying to say? So, end of the day, like I said, defensively, we looked very shaky. But overall, we apart from gifting Man City the goals in the first half, they weren't really a threat. They weren't creating any clear-cut chances. I didn't really see them, penetrating us through the midfield or patterns of play where we're in a lot of trouble. And now the midfield, like Celtic, for example, or Wrexham, I didn't really see that from Man City. It was more we gave it to them. Apart from Oscar Bob's goal that he scored, which was a very good goal, they weren't really creating. They weren't really causing us any harm, if that makes sense. But the biggest problem that we had was the balance of the team. We were lacking any fluidity in the attack. Was lacking any chemistry in the midfield. Obviously, like I said, Caicedo and Lavia, this was basically their first time really playing together like that. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's a new system. Lavia's been used to someone inverted next to him. Now you've got Caicedo there who's quite rough, who's quite rusty, at the minute. It was going to take some getting used to. And I wasn't really seeing much in there. You know what I'm trying to say? Dewsbury Hall, it was confusing me what positions he was taking up. 1 minute I'm seeing him left wing, then I'm seeing him in the half spaces. That dynamic just wasn't really working. Enzo for me in between the lines, that right half space. I don't like Enzo in between the lines, like I said in the last video. Enzo's biggest strengths is dictating the game and his long range passing and short range passing and keeping everything ticking. Unfortunately for him right now, we've got Lavia, who's been our best player, in my opinion, in pre-season so far, who plays in that pivot where I would want Enzo to play. So as it is right now, I'm not starting Enzo, unfortunately, for him. Because I would rather play Palmer in that right half space, and I'd rather play Nkuku in that right half space. Even Caicedo, I'd rather play him over there instead of Enzo, because he's not as agile as the rest of them. On the ball, he's not as press resistant. Not to say that he can't beat his man, but he's not the quickest to be playing in that role. He needs to get the ball and be looking at the pitch rather than having guys pressing him and then trying to do all these flicks and tricks. He's not a Palmer and Nkuku on the ball. These sort of flary guys. So in that right half space, I didn't really like the dynamic, and he was the only one really in the first half that created a big chance for us for Nkuku. Who another one I don't like when he plays up top. If you're gonna play Nkuku up top, he needs a link in the midfield, someone that's gonna bounce the ball. Someone that he can bounce the ball off of. Someone like maybe a Palmer playing in that 10 or Jackson, maybe him and Jackson alternating like that. When you've got Nkuku just up top by himself, it's redundant. It's like when we was playing Cole Palmer as a 9, because Nkuku and Palmer, they're the sort of players that you want on the ball. You want them getting involved in the game, running at guys, winning fouls. You know what I'm saying? Creating for the team, taking shots on goal. That's what you want. But when you're playing him up top, he's shackled, bro. He's shackled. He's trying to get involved in the game. He's trying to get deep. But then who's stretching the pitch? You know, there was a big change yesterday, and we missed Mark Gill. And like I said, I'll speak about the second half in a second. But that first half for me, it just wasn't good, and it was very clear to see that the lineup wasn't working. Mudryk right wing. I remember seeing Mudryk right wing last season against West Ham, and he stunk. Mudryk can barely play on the left. So what do people expect when you play him on the right? With the dynamic on that side is already mashed up. You've got Enzo there playing there for the first time. You've got Mudryk on the right. You've got Nkuku up top. I was just seeing no chemistry, no cohesion. That's what happens. Do you know what I'm saying? But in the second half, listen, Maresca, he realised this and he was quite proactive. You know, he took off Tosin, who was, again, stinking out of the place. He put Levi Colwill more centrally, which definitely helped him. He looked a lot better. His passing range was good as well from that position. And he played Badiashile in the wider areas, who, for me, Badiashile is better at defending on those wider areas. So at the back, we looked a little bit more stabilised. Away from that fourth goal that Man City scored, we looked a little bit more stabilised from the back. I think it would look better when Gusto was inverting as well, doing what we've been doing the past few games. Caicedo came off the pitch. Noni on the right-hand side of Sterling. Listen, they both changed the game, because Madueke, what he was doing was just running at his man, you know, finding that space, getting in behind, actually using his right foot as well for a change, which was really refreshing to see, because the past few games we've been watching him, it's like he doesn't want to cross it on his right, sorry. You know what I'm trying to say? And he gets in good positions to do that. Yesterday, he done it a few times, and he actually got an assist on his right foot for Sterling when Sterling got that volley. Very, very good. You know what I'm trying to say? And for that goal that he scored, Lavia just picking up the ball from the midfield like he's been doing and just playing it forward. That's what Lavia does. He just looks up, plays it forward. No dilly-dallying side to side like Gallagher and trying to make things look like, you know, they're rocket science. If you're a top player and you've got that vision, you've got that IQ, you're just going to play it in behind. And what I liked from Madueke for that finish was the fact that he composed himself. You know, that's one thing about Madueke. He needs to compose himself more and stop this cutting back all the time. Sometimes just stretch the pitch. And that's what he did. He composed himself. Nice goal. He placed it. You know, I thought he was very, very good yesterday for us. And that's what I need to see more of in the season to come. Sterling on the other side as well. I thought he was quite threatening. He kept running at his man. He was actually taking on his man and beating his man as well. Obviously, he scored and he was whipping in quite some good chances. And in that second half, we created some better chances for the attackers, you know. But unfortunately, we haven't got a Haaland. That's the problem. You know, this is where you've got to look in the market now and say, yo, is there someone that's a little bit more experienced that we could bring? Gil, he was good when he came on as well. He helped us stretch the pitch. He didn't really do much in terms of on the ball, but he brings a different dynamic that Nkuku wasn't bringing, because he helps stretch the pitch and he makes the defenders drop back a little bit. With Nkuku, he doesn't do that. The defenders are just look at him and say, yeah, it's calm and he's flimsy up here. Anyway, let's push up a little bit. But with Gil, he makes sure that these lot push back because of how physical he is and how he was still constantly running behind. You know what I'm trying to say? So it was very clear to me, very, very clear to me that the lineup wasn't good. It wasn't balanced. But again, it's good to see that Maresca recognized that and went back to what was working. And after he went back to what worked against Club America, we looked a lot better, you know? And like I've said, I don't look at results in pre-season. That's why last week I told you, look, it doesn't mean that I'm now happy we're going to go win the league and that. No, I was happy with the performance. And yesterday, there were certain aspects of the game that I was happy with in terms of, you know, the chances that the wingers were creating and how we're isolating the fullbacks. I really like that. And in midfield, Lavia was a lot better in the second half as well. I really like that. Gusto looked a little bit more comfortable when he was inverting as well. I really like that. But what we really need to iron out from our game is these individual mistakes. Yeah? Lapses of concentration. Lads, I know the pitch wasn't that good, but it was the same for both teams. And I wasn't seeing Man City making stupid mistakes at the back. Yeah? We need to be better at that, because last season, we lost so many games and dropped so many points by doing it to ourselves. You know? There's a lot of games where we got cut through and whatnot, but so many times I'm seeing us going up and I'm not even celebrating, because I know in the next 5-10 minutes, someone else is going to do something stupid at the back. We need to iron that out, man. We need to iron that out, because it's not good enough. You lot are playing football every single day. You get paid millions, yeah, every single year. And you're telling me you don't know how to concentrate at the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people saying now we need more defenders. We need more this. But how many more defenders do you want? How many more defenders do you want? Because it seems like whatever defender we get, their concentration levels are shit at Chelsea. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a quality thing. I think it's more of a concentration thing. Because Tosin had a very good game against Club America. He's a good player. Levi Cole was a good player. You know, these guys are good players. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what we need to do, innit? So obviously next game we've got our game against Madrid. Last game in America. Thank fuck for that. We're actually the last team, yeah, from the top 6 and that are still in America at the minute. Everyone else has come back home. We've still got to be there. So hopefully, touch wood, no one gets injured or anything like that, because these pitches over there are just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, we've got Inter Milan, and then surprise, surprise, the season's here. But listen, like I said, people, very, very clear to analyze that game, man. It's nothing to panic about. You know, there's a few things that he needs to change for the next game. I don't want to see that same lineup again, please. I never want to see Mudryk right wing either. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people cooking him at the minute. But for me, I'm like, bro, what did you expect? What did you expect for Mudryk on the right? People would tell me, yeah, but you should be able to play on both sides. It doesn't work like that, bro. It doesn't work like that. Yeah? When you're playing left wing and you prefer left and you play on the right, the angles are completely different. How you want to take on your man, the foot that you want to use when you're whipping in the ball. All these things are different and they affect your game. And we already know he's not that comfortable on the left as it is. Yeah, because he's got a lot to learn and his IQ ain't high. So what did people really expect from him on the right? I knew he wasn't going to have a great game on the right because I know he's not a right winger. And I know he can't play both sides because I've seen him play on the right and it stunk. But again, people just want to crash it on him and you know, act as if he's not our problem. People need to realize, as much as they might not like Mudryk and that, yeah, he's not going anywhere right now. He is our problem. So we need to think of solutions of how to help the guy because he's not going anywhere. It only benefits us if we help him. And playing him right wing does not help him. But again, I don't think Maresca is going to do something like that in the season if he's got other options there, like a Madueke, for example. Even a Sterling can comfortably play on both sides. He's done that at Man City for years, and he done it last season for us as well, and Liverpool, you know. So we move, man. We move. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, people, road to 3K, man. Make sure that you leave your comments in below. I'm always in there interacting with you guys, like I said. And love. Till the next time, man.